Welcome to the Talk Like a Leader podcast, where we explore the mindset, skill set, and habit set of leadership communication. Using these tips, techniques, and tactics, you'll be able to talk like a leader to build better relationships and get more done. Your host is Guy Harris, who has more than 20 years of combined professional and military experience in consulting, coaching, and training in areas like team and interaction dynamics, communication strategies and tactics, as well as emotional intelligence. Take it away, Guy.
Hi, this is Guy Harris. Welcome to the Talk Like a Leader podcast. This week's episode is titled, "The DISC Model is a Good Enough Model, Not a Perfect One." The tool I use a lot in my work is the DISC model, or often called the DISC model. And I have received many questions about why I use that model, if I think there are other models that are better, if I think the DISC model is the most accurate or most precise model. I addressed that one time in an episode called Why I Use the DISC Model, and today I'm going to expand on that idea a little bit. And I'll acknowledge that there are lots of human behavior and personality assessments / tools. They are all over the place in terms of their complexity, what they focus on, how well they're received in psychological or social science circles, how many people use them, how many questions are in the assessment, what they measure, how they measure, all those kind of things. There are a big range of things. There's the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory, long and complex test that is aimed really at clinical diagnosis. There's the MBTI assessment, or the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. There's the Enneagram. There's the Big Five personality model. There's DISC and a variety of other related four-quadrant models. I won't list all of them, but some of them are social styles and colors and other variants that are four-quadrant and maybe not identical to the DISC model. They're very similar to the DISC model. And so there are all these different tools out there that you can use to assess behavior and personality style and communication preference and motivation and all kinds of things about human behavior. Now, I've been doing a lot of construction work lately. I'm helping my daughter and son-in-law get a house ready to move into. And there's a parallel I see here between the tool I use in my work and the tools I use for construction. And the thing I've recognized is the tool needs to fit the job. So assessing whether a tool, any tool, whether it's a tool for evaluating human behavior and communication preference, or whether it's a tool for building a house, really kind of comes down to the same evaluation criteria. Does the tool fit the job I'm trying to do? I'll say that honestly, evaluation of whether a tool is good or not is determined by the job you're trying to do with it, not the tool itself. For example, there are tape measures and there are micrometers. They both measure distance or size. Use a tape measure for one job and a micrometer for a different job. We have table saws and meat slicers. Both a table saw and a meat slicer use a rotating blade to cut things. Yet, which one is the perfect tool for the job depends on the job. I could use a table saw to cut meat. I'd be a mess. And maybe I could use a meat slicer to cut wood. Probably not cut very well and probably also be a mess. Might break things. Well, what's that got to do with the DISC model being a good enough model, not a perfect one? See, in my work, I'm focused on learning how to better interact with people, not how to analyze them. What I'm trying to do is understand how to adjust on the fly, how to figure out on the fly, how to adjust my communication to better fit both the person and the situation to get better outcomes. I'm not trying to understand every nuance of their personality or their motivations. Now, from a purely theoretical basis, I got to ask the question, are there assessments and tools that identify more detailed and finely differentiated distinctions between people, and probably more peer-reviewed and maybe you would say analytically perfect tools? Well, there probably are tools better than the DISC model for that application. The thing is, are they the best tool for what I'm trying to achieve? Probably not. See, I deal with coaching conversations, conflict resolution, selling change, inspiring team members, things that have lots of situational and emotional variables. And so what I'm trying to do is, as I said before, on the fly, try to read those situations and make adjustments. I really need a good enough tool, not a perfect tool. You see, figuratively speaking, my work with people is more like measuring a 2x4 to build a house than it is like measuring a ball bearing in a lab. I need a tape measure, not a micrometer. Are micrometers good tools? Well, absolutely. If you're measuring ball bearings or doing some kind of QC analysis post-production for a fine tolerance tool or piece of equipment, definitely not if you're measuring a 2x4. Now, are tape measures good tools? Well, absolutely if you're measuring 2x4s. Definitely not if you're measuring ball bearings. You see, the tool needs to fit the job. What I need, and what most of my clients need, is to get in the ballpark in real time with lots of emotional and situational dynamics at play. I'm not trying to understand, and my clients aren't trying to understand every nuance and subtlety of another person's perspective. Would it be helpful to understand every nuance and subtlety of another person's perspective? Yeah, probably so. And in most of the situations I'm in, we don't have the time to get to that level of detail. Now, maybe over time we're going to know that, just not in the moment. And when you look at choosing a tool based on the job you're trying to do, I think you'll always find that no tool is perfect for any job. I mean, frankly, if you go look on YouTube for tutorials on how to do anything from installing flooring to fixing a leaky faucet to installing trim on your garage door, you'll find a variety of approaches from a variety of people who all have their preferred approach and tool selection for essentially the same job. Now, which tool or approach is the perfect tool or approach? I think it depends on who you ask. And I think all of the tools are probably sufficient. So it becomes like a personal preference thing. Now, are there many tools you can use to become a better communicator? Well, for sure. And do I recommend the DISC model? Also, for sure. And leads to the question, why, Guy, do you recommend the DISC model? Well, because I found after trying lots of different approaches that with the complexity and the dynamic reality of the situations I face, I need simple tools that get me close. I need something I can remember when emotions are high. I can't manage lots of complicated phrases or lots of complicated twists and turns in a model. I need something pretty simple that gets me in the ballpark, gets me close, that is quick enough and accurate enough to achieve what I'm trying to achieve without getting me all balled up in a lot of details. I'm looking for better real-time understanding and adjustment to what's going on in the conversation, which is why I recommend the DISC model. I really only have to remember two things. Is the person I'm interacting with more outgoing or more reserved? Does this person appear to be more task-oriented or more people-oriented? With those two questions, I can get close enough to figure out what I need to do to adjust. Is it going to be perfect? Oh, absolutely not. Is it going to be good enough? Yeah, I think so. Been doing it for 20 years. I found that it helps me in a lot of situations when emotions are high and it's hard to remember or think straight. So from all that work, from that experience, from working with clients in real-time situations, from working with team members, working with friends, family members, a whole bunch of different situations, I've come to the conclusion that the DISC model is good enough for what I'm doing. In fact, I would say for what I'm attempting to do, it's very close to a perfect tool. It is not perfect for everything. It's perfect for what I'm trying to do. It's a good enough model in general. It's perfect for the application in which I apply it. So if you can use the DISC model, learn to ask the two simple questions. Is this person more outgoing or more reserved? Is this person more task-oriented, more people-oriented? Remember only those two questions. You can get in the ballgame, adjust your communication style, read situations more accurately, understand people's perspective and concerns more clearly, and you can talk like a leader. This has been the Talk Like a Leader podcast. You can listen to this show every week wherever you get your podcast. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I'm Guy Harris, and thanks for listening.